you. That's why you feel like your team is not doing it. That's why you feel like it's all you, right? Now, the cool thing is that you guys understand investments, right? In the beginning, you're putting in a bunch of contribution and it's just all your contributions. You don't really see any gains, right, Rod? Like, I mean,
Right.
money takes over time to grow, doesn't it, guys? Right? When we sit
Mm-hmm.
down with clients, I say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, doesn't it take time for money to grow? Everybody understands that, right? But you gotta invest consistently every single month, right? Some people every single 2 weeks. Some people do a weekly pack. That's cool, whatever it is. But did you know that the people that invest more consistently have more compounded gains than people who don't invest consistently? Well, that's the same for your business. In the beginning, it's going to be all you. It's going to feel like it's all you. It's going to feel like it's all your contribution. It's going to feel like you're the only one getting these people to show up to training. It's going to feel like your Chantels don't call their Sierras, and and you got to do it for Chantel until Chantel gets it, right? And I'm not sure Chantel agree with this. I'm saying, right?
Can you help
And
me? He doesn't
shoot,
have his money
another,
thing.
I got another attendee.
Right.
Is your dog going to be doing 10 by 10,000 this month too? But until your teammate gets it, you got to make sure that you lead for them, right? And maybe that person will never get it, right? Maybe Araya will never get it. Now, I'm not going to call Araya because I know Araya gets it. I know she got some people showing up. But if Araya's under me and she don't get it, I'm calling her son for her. Hey, where you at? Right? We started training. Are you okay? All right. Hey, listen, training is really important. You want to get every single nugget. Where else are you going to get $500,000 of a year earner teaching you how to be just like him? Nowhere, right? I just had a girl try to quit the other day, and I was sitting in front of, I think it was Keith Otto speaking. Shondell, somebody texted me, they're brand new, unlicensed, like 2 days in, 3 days in, and they're like, hey, I've been thinking. We all get that text, right? And I put the phone down. I'm sitting in front of $1 million a year earner. Sorry, Keith Otto walked up for $5 million of a year income. $5 million a year. One code, 2 million. Second code, 3 million, which means he's got 2 businesses in Primerica that make a $5 million a year income for him. Think about it. I've got somebody who makes $5 million a year and somebody's texting me, they want to quit. Well, listen, I got to call her and say, listen, you just got to keep showing up. Where else are you going to go with an environment that's going to push you up? I'm selling the environment, guys. I'm not selling me. I'm selling the environment. I'm selling show up, right? Is everybody going to get it? No. But if you don't keep saying the same message consistently, how are you going to compound your gains over time, right? It's a consistent investment. And this is your business. This is just your life. Why wouldn't you invest in it? Now, when you have those 10 people showing up a week, what are they doing right after? You can't force anybody to show up, but let me tell you who your real team is. The real team are the people that show up not to training on Saturday only, but the blitz on top of training. That's your real team. That's the ones that you can count on. That's the people that show up and they're like, hey, I'm planning to put up some numbers this week, right? The people that skip blitz, it's without saying too many words that I really want to say, without skipping. When people skip blitz, it's highly silly because it's like them saying, I don't really want to make any money this week. Forget it. I know everybody's setting QAs. I don't even want to do that. It's not worth it for me to sit with the other players and the other winners for 30 minutes out of 168 hours in the week to invest in my own business that I get to own. It's not worth it for me for 30 minutes for my own family. I know I told my family that I would take care of them. I know I would provide for them, but 30 minutes just not worth it for them. It's just, they're not worth 30 minutes. That's what people are saying when they're not showing up to blitz, if they're licensed especially. Because when you're licensed, there's no reason why you shouldn't have appointments. There's no reason why you shouldn't make money, right? If you show up to blitz, that's the environment. That's a whole nother environment right there. That's the winner's environment, guys. Attendance is an environment. How many meetings are you showing up to? Are you showing up to everything? Because once you show up to everything, guess what? Your team's going to show up to everything. The trainer, you as a trainer, you set 1 QA minimum with each teammate showing up. Well, guess what? If you have 10 people and you help each of those 10 people set just 1 for the week, then you have 10 QA set already. Hello? 50%, 5 will happen. 5 will happen. You're closing 2 or 3. All of a sudden you look up, you got 2,000 to 3,000 for Top Gun. It's that simple. It's a math equation, right? But either you do it or you don't. You're not stuck. So once you have 10 a week showing up, everybody's aligned. Everybody's looking to build their appointments and attendance. Now, all of a sudden, you look up over the next 2 or 3 weeks, your team has gotten to the point where they pushed your base shop to double-digit recruiting. And now you see not just you doing all the work, your team of 10, they want to play too. Well, the 20%ers want to play. Double-digit recruiting is where it's going to qualify you to be mentored, not by Shaq, who makes $500,000 a year, but every 2 weeks by $1.4 million coach, our head coach, Bruce Cox. For 1 hour, maybe sometimes 1.5 hours straight, he's going and drilling our minds to brainwash us to become better. You're only where you are, guys, because of how you've been thinking. I want to challenge everyone to get serious about your attendance. If you have one person showing up today because it was just you, I challenge you to have 2 next week. You got 3, I challenge you to have 6 next week. Each of your teammates and you bringing 1 person each. If you got 10 people, I challenge you to have 20 people next week. If each person on your team, including you, gets 1 more new person next week, that's double your numbers already. And I promise you, you'll be on the double-digit call with Bruce Cox, and all of a sudden your numbers will go up on the premium side as well. 10 by 10, it could be literally the next 2 weeks for you, just like that. Just implement it. Shondell, anything to add?
No, that was awesome. That's awesome, guys. Attendance is huge, huge. Number 1 focus, because that leads to everything else. So with that, guys, I'm going to talk about field training to 10K. Because when you bring in all of those recruits, when you have all of those recruits in attendance in the meetings, you have to have a huge focus on number 1, becoming an amazing field trainer yourself, but then also duplicating yourself to create new field trainers, right? So what is a field trainer, guys? A field trainer is somebody that is licensed, preferably fully licensed, but at least licensed, where they can go out and put their name on a life insurance sale on their own, answer all the questions and submit it properly, and then also recruit somebody, submit an IBA, maybe do a follow-up or an interview, follow up after a video, and help that person get started, right? So a field trainer can do both of those independently from you, right? Up to a standard. So usually in most cases, when people become field trainers, they kind of go through a process with their upline. That upline may shadow them a little bit, may figure out, may ask them a couple questions, throw objections at them, make sure that they're on par, because you want to make sure that you're comfortable. If I send somebody out with Jen, cool, I know that she's going to do a great job. If I send somebody out with Josh, great, I know they're going to do a great job. You have to get to the point to where you're confident, to where number 1, you're a great field trainer, but then the next level is, hey, can I send a brand new recruit out with somebody else and feel confident that they're going to do everything up to par, right? So it all starts there. So what Jen was saying earlier, that you have to be training more than 1 person. So to get to 10,000 in production, if you're double-digit recruiting, then you should have 8 to 10 people that are brand new within your team, either from the prior month if you double-digit recruited, or if you started off fast and you're already kind of halfway there for the new month, right? So you're always focusing on cycling, training 8 to 10 people in a month, right, from your double-digit recruiting. Because now when you look at it, sometimes, right, and then you guys know this, sometimes when you recruit somebody, they just want to study. They might just want to go and take their tests first, right? Some people are a little hesitant. Some people are great at the recruiting side. They're bringing in a lot of new teammates, but maybe they don't have a great qualified market to start. And then you kind of got to work with them. So you have all different types of people that are going to come in to your business when you're double-digit recruiting. So if you're only training 1 or 2 people, you may not know, or you may not have a lot of places to go. So if you focus on that double-digit recruiting, you should at least be able to get your 1 appointment from all of those people every single week. If not that, maybe 20% of those people are taking you on 3 to 5 appointments every single week, right? But training new people is very important. I've heard it countless times from various people. I don't remember exactly who, because I was listening in on a lot of conversations through the trip, but a lot of people say, if you're doing an appointment, you need to have somebody watching you. You need to have somebody watching you, because, hey, what is your goal in the business? Is your goal in the business to be a, number one, yes, you want to be a personal producer, but be a personal producer forever? Or do we come here so we can have passive income, overrides, residual income, right? So with that, when we're going out on appointments, if we have people watching us, that's when the duplication process can start, right? So that's huge. So training 8 to 10 people in a month. Then from that, you're going to be setting your 10 appointments a week to go on 5. So Jen talked about that. If your attendance is up to 10 minimum, then you know that you should be setting 10 a week minimum. We have a inner circle thread with Shaq right now, and I know we're gonna set that up. But every single week, we have to be minimum. The leaders, we have to be doing 5 appointments every single week minimum. It's crazy. We heard somebody on the bus on the way back too. They were like, "Yeah, I average 3 to 4 appointments a day." Right? That's a stud, right? But if you're just getting started, hey, can I at least focus on making sure that I am on an appointment every single night? Every single night, just one. Then get to the point to where you're like, okay, hey, I always have 2 appointments. We used to say a 6 and an 8. Now we're on Zoom. You can have appointments all throughout the day, right? But make sure that you figure out a number based on your goals to set the right amount of appointments weekly so you hit that. If you're going for 10K, you got to be setting 10 a week. The amount of appointments that you have set through you and your team per week is going to dictate how much premium you have over the course of the entire month. So if you set 10 appointments a week, then that means it'll come back down to doing 10 sales a month. So if you look at the next bullet point here, setting 10 a week, you'll go on 5, the 50% rule, which then will mean, okay, there's four weeks in the month, and now you have 20 appointments that you do. If you close 50% of them, that's your 10,000, right? So then if you continue the duplication and now you're setting 20 appointments a week, then you'll probably do 20,000 in production for the month. If you have 30 appointments set for the week, then it'll start to creep up to 30,000 in production, so on and so forth. But you got to start with the 10. When you're working with people as far as field training, you want to treat everyone like a direct. Because at this point in time, if you are a field trainer, you are the best person on your team to take people out. So if I'm working with someone that's direct to me, like for example, Amaria, and Amaria has somebody on her team named Allie. Allie's not direct to me, but I'm still going to treat her like a direct. What does that mean when I say treat them like a direct? You're reaching out to that person daily, right? Daily. Hey, how you doing? What text messages can we get sent out? Can we get some new appointments set up for you this week? Who can you introduce me to so we can help get them on your team? How's your studying going? They got to get licensed. What chapter are you on? Are you having any problems? Is there any paperwork that I can help you get sent in, right? But treat everyone like a direct. Spend time. Now, when I say spend time, you want to invest your time and make sure you're investing that time with the right people, right? If people aren't responding to your messages, showing up, coming to training, like Jen talked about, doing the right things, then don't spend all your time with that person. But if somebody's doing the right thing, treat them like a direct, build that relationship, invest time into them, because that's how they're going to continue to move forward. And you can retain that person within your business. Then after the appointment, guys, debriefing is very critical to duplication and field training properly. So what is debriefing? Every time you do an appointment, you meet with that recruit and you ask them questions from the appointment. I've been doing this now every single time when I start an appointment. I didn't used to always do this, but when I start an appointment and I go through the expectations page with the potential clients that we're meeting with, I always pause for a second every time. And I'm going to say, hey, Amaria, I know I didn't tell you this earlier. I might have already, but I'm just saying it in the appointment on purpose. So I say, hey, Amaria, you have your notebook, right? Okay, cool. I just want to make sure you have that and you're taking notes. Just make sure you're focusing on the questions that I ask, the questions that the client asks, and how I answer those questions. Because, hey, the words are going to be the same on the slides. That's going to be the same. You'll see that. You'll get the presentation, but the questions are very important. So just make sure you're writing that down, okay? Cool, check. And then I continue on with the presentation. Because now, number one, hopefully you've prepped the recruit before the appointment, but now you're saying it in the appointment. So the client is like, oh, this is really training. They like have to be taking notes and paying attention. And then at the end of the appointment, the recruit knows that we're going to go over that. We're going to go, what questions did you write down? What did you get? What did you feel when they had a question or objection? Did you write down how I overcame that objection? Especially if you close a sale, you have to make sure that the recruit understands 100% what did you say to get them to move forward, because the products and the presentation sells themselves, right? The presentation is set up perfectly to guide the recruit, but if you hit an objection, that's where you have to help the new recruit continue to focus on getting past that so you can get to the sale, or at least get a solid carry back with good commitment questions to set up the next appointment. So debriefing after the appointment is huge. If the appointment went long, whatever, do the debrief. It doesn't matter, right? Always do the debrief after the appointment. It's critical. And if you have another appointment that you have to go back to, tell the recruit, hey, I know I'm scheduled, my schedule's packed. I got another appointment that I got to run to, but I am going to call you later tonight so we can recap what happened in the appointment. Worst case scenario, the next day if the person has to go to work or whatever the case may be. But debriefing is very important, guys. And like I have been saying, that's where the duplication happens. Field training is to help you get to the point of, if you want to become a vice president, duplicating yourself into other people. But first you have to get to the point of doing 10K yourself, which is great to lead to with referrals, Jen.
Great job, Shondell. I'm taking notes on top of notes, and these are notes that I've written down for years, guys. I mean, I'm writing some of the same stuff I've written probably like more than 50 times already, and it's still something I need to write down all the time. Even if I'm already doing it, I still, in my mind, always show up to training as if I don't know it, right? I'm still learning from my sidelines and somebody like Rod who's coming in, you know, just moving up. I mean, it's so exciting to see a hierarchy like this, you guys. So let's talk about getting to 10K yourself. Let's go back to what Rod said, serving the client, okay? I sat down with Rodna, who used to be Shaq's office manager for our base, and when I say our base, I'm talking about Shaq's base, but in my mind, Shaq's base is my base, right? Because it's still my business. But when Rodna was an office manager, I called her one day and I realized, you know, at first I'm like brand new and I'm noticing, wow, you just get like clients that call you and say, I got somebody who has $100,000 that wants to invest with you. Or you just get like random calls, and the calls are like, hey, I heard you set up a 529 plan and life insurance for my friend. This is Rod. Tony referred me, you know, to you. And she said that you could help me out. You get those random calls. You're doing something, right? Where the client knows that it's about them and not you, right? And for the longest time, I thought it was just the words. It's not just the words, guys. It's how you feel. It's your mentality going in. And Rodna sat down on the phone with me for 45 minutes. Again, you got to pick people's brains that are doing better than you, right? And she drilled me. What are you saying? How are you saying? She was like, Jen, this is what you do. And the way that she broke it down, guys, I couldn't do it as good as she is, okay? She's the one that really got me to understand. The way that she treats her clients, she really takes her time to teach them. She's not rushing the sale, right? And I thought that it was just, let's close. Yes, that may be something Shondell's telling you if you work directly with her. Yes, that's something I may be telling you guys if you're working directly with me, and maybe even Rod, because we're players and we want to, you know, play for the team. But at the end of the day, when we're sitting down with that client, how does that client feel about you? Because if they don't feel that you're really, truly trying to help them, right? Then how are they going to feel comfortable referring you to people, right? Yes, it's the word, but that's how you say it. But, okay, it's not who you know, it's who you know knows. You got to stay in business while you build a business. What does that mean? Maybe you may not be a trainer yet, but at least you got to learn how to make your own money before you can teach somebody else how to do it, going back to our first slide. But while you stay in business, that's how you pay your bills. You survive doing that, right? You look at Yesralda. She booked 18 appointments in the month. Is that a lot? Like, seriously, is that really a lot? 18 QAs booked for the month. Think about this. And half of them were referrals if you really paid attention to what she was talking about. Half of who she closed were referrals, personal introductions. 18 appointments in the month that Yesralda booked over 4 weeks. That's only 4 to 5 appointments she booked a week. That's only 4 to 5. And in those 4 to 5, 50% happened. That's literally 2 to 3 that happened. 2 to 3 that happened. So you're only spending an hour each appointment, an hour and a half each appointment. That's only 5 hours a week, guys. It's literally only 5 to 6 hours a week. But she's not training anyone yet. She's going through referrals, right? Because if you're writing 4,000 or 5,000 in a week and you make an extra 2,000 to 3,000 on a district contract, how can you not teach somebody that, right? But listen, she's working through her warm market. So one thing that I was talking to Shaq about, because we had some guy that came on who left Merrill Lynch and Edward Jones. He's got a 663, 66, and a 7, right? So excited to get the points there for Hawaii. But Shaq told me to explain to this guy. He said, because he wanted to be just a producer, right, Shondell? He goes, you want to explain to him, yeah, it's really great to be a producer. I can teach you how to get referrals. And I guarantee you're going to get 3 to 5 referrals minimum from each client. But if you allow me to teach you to be a trainer, I guarantee you'll learn how to earn 30 to 50 referrals from each new person that you train, right? Would you rather have 3 to 5 for each person or 30 to 50? He goes, I want to be a trainer, right? So when you produce with the end goal in mind to become a trainer of trainers, you start learning how to work through a Tamika's market because you worked with your market. And your warm market, just like Tamika's warm market, just like Joey's warm market, those are relationships that have already been built. You didn't have to do any work to meet somebody who's a stranger who's completely cold, right? You meet somebody like a Joey who took me on 26 training appointments. All of that was credibility, guys. She's already built all those relationships over the past whatever years she's lived in her life. I don't want to put her age out there. I know Joey's like laughing at me. But that warm market is the best market that you can work through. So that's a type of referral as well. You don't have to just go through clients. So what is another type of referral? Beneficiary and emergency contacts. The hotter they are, the better the result. What do I mean? Beneficiaries naturally are going to be better than emergency contacts. One, because of the ones that are going to receive the proceeds if somebody passes away. I always talk about my client, Reggie, who passed away in December 2017. And this goes back to serving your client. We don't expect to make money and close every single emergency contact or beneficiary, but we are prepared to get them started on a life app and investments, right? We don't expect everybody to get closed. We don't expect everybody to do business. We're prepared. We're prepared. We're prepared to close. I got everything in my arsenal. So I met with his daughter after he changed his beneficiary. Didn't do any business right there. It was a 10-minute meeting. As soon as her father passed away the very next month, she did a life insurance app. Unfortunately, she got declined, but she had $30,000 to roll over. There was no ifs, ands, and buts. We ended up recruiting her. I had no objections from this woman, nothing, because we had delivered a $100,000 check with no strings attached, right? But the whole time I'm calling other companies for her on behalf of her dad, the 401k company at the job, the life insurance company through the job since he passed on the job, right? The bank account, right, that she didn't have access to. I provided all of that. That's service for your client that I didn't get paid to do until she rolled over her $30,000 that I didn't even know she had. That's how you earn business, guys. You service the client. Those beneficiary emergency contact, when you meet with them, your job is just to meet them to service the client. Then they do business with you and they're like, oh shoot, my company didn't do this for me. Hey, by the way, Shondell, who does your income protection? By the way, You know, has anybody ever, you know, done a meeting like this? You know, the old company that you had, did they ever, you know, care to meet with your beneficiary to explain this process? No? Well, listen, guess how many other clients that are just as intelligent as you, or may not be as much, right? That don't get that service. Who do you know that may have something in place already? That may need better quality service or may want better quality service. Hey, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Each presentation you sit down, guys, ask for up to 10 referrals so that you're going to get 3 to 5. The less you ask for, the less you'll get. If you ask for 3 to 5, you'll get 1 to 2, maybe 3. But if you ask for 10, I guarantee you get 3 to 5, as long as there's credibility there. So we got a couple minutes for questions. I hope that helps, guys. There's a whole referral training on the YouTube channel as well. And there's a bunch of trainings there, but just implement it all and make sure you learn, you know, late at night, play your training videos. Anyone have questions for Rod, Shondell, or myself?